Career growth for women in tech is a lot harder than it is for men. And because my journey was a successful one, I thought of putting together 7 tips that have helped me throughout my journey that have made a difference. As a woman in tech, you're oftentimes met with some pre-existing bias that you might not be assertive enough. And if you are too aggressive, that you are too emotional, that you might not have good business judgment, that you might be better off for kitchen type of tasks, that you might not understand STEM topics well, and that you care for people a little bit too much, and that doesn't have a place in business. There's also a strong prejudice that you might not be enough time in the office because you take care of your family. And you might have another pre-existing state, and I know that I did, that might make you a lot more critical of oneself, a lot less likely to want to talk about your achievements, which is obviously counterproductive to the growth that you want to achieve. Women are also a lot less likely to appear as confident, and they might take roles of heroes and taking care of others instead of themselves. So here are the things that I have done that have helped me a lot. Number 1 is finding allies around you that can help elevate your profile. Those are people that either themselves have gone through the same things as you, people that want to make a difference in diversity, people that have skills that they might want to share. Find those allies in your path, ask for feedback, things that you could do better, and create a strong network of support. Tip number 2 is speak up with kindness. And I have an example here, and I'm putting here up a post from Joyce on LinkedIn. And you can see that she was kicked out of a board meeting. She just left the meeting feeling very unsettled because she was the only woman on the call. And she wondered if that was the reason why she felt singled out. This has happened to me in my career as well. And without learning to speak up every time you see a situation like that, things will not change and people will continue to take the same actions again and again. So you can see here in my comment, I said what I would have done in her shoes. I'm happy to oblige. I do have a question before I go. When you ask me, the only woman in the room, to leave, it makes me feel singled out. And I'm wondering if certain judgments are based on my gender. Can you please let me know if my understanding is correct? As you can see, I would take an approach that would not blame the others and hopefully have them acknowledge the action that they're taking that might make me feel singled out. To learn to speak up, I have read a book that I oftentimes mention. It's called Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg, and it's a book that I recommend to everybody I meet. Number 3 that has helped on my journey is when speaking about my achievements, I oftentimes focus on results. I make sure that I understand at the beginning of the role how I will be measured, what success looks like, what I can do to highlight so that I can objectively measure my success. Within the same context, one has to understand how one's strengths apply to the company mission, how one's strengths apply to your manager mission, your team's mission, to make sure that you can apply it and help the team achieve the results they need. Sometimes the team might not have a mission. The manager might not be clear on how you want to be measured. That's why you need to take charge, be as clear as possible on what success looks like, and see how your strengths can play to make a difference. Pushing for excellence. Whenever you're in a new role, look around you. See what other companies are doing, what other people that you admire are doing very well. Interview them, understand what the best practices are across, and create a center of excellence within your own role, within your own company, so that people can see how you're pushing the boundaries around you. I've also been leading a lot in my role without a title. I was not yet a director, I was not yet a vice president, but I would get things done by rallying the troops around me. Oftentimes we forget that as women, we have the power to inspire others to do things, even if we're not their direct manager. And that allows us to show that we can make things happen, even if we are not yet at the level that the manager or the company acknowledges us to be. I've also recorded a video on the techniques that I've used to rally the troops around me for making things happen, to get everybody to be directed to the goal that I had, and hope that will help as well. And I've linked it down below. Very important, do not seek permission. I have never sought permission to do things, and I just move forward with the things that I want to achieve. Sometimes I had to ask for forgiveness. It had happened rarely, but the boldness of the actions at the beginning made people around me confident that I can just run with things and make things happen. Last but not least, do not let yourself be agreeable just for the sake of being agreeable. Do not be somebody else's mat if it's at your own expense. And actually, if one remains with only one thing out of my video, learn that you don't have to seek agreeableness in order to be successful at your job. You have to 100% focus on results and how your strength can play within those results.